is Martin Iberger. I'm the artistic director of the World Music Institute. Since 1985, we've been bringing international music and dance to New York City at various venues, and we're very happy to be back at Symphony Space tonight. Very honored to be presenting Cherish the Ladies as a part of their 30th anniversary tour. We've got our brochures in the back for our forthcoming shows as well, and if you'd like to sign up for our email address, you'll be entered into a contest to win tickets to our next show. And Cherish the Ladies has some wonderful CDs and other merch in the back as well. And without further ado, I would like to turn things over to Mick Moloney. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm so honored to be here at this momentous occasion. 30 years of great music from the mightiest all-woman ensemble in the world in Irish music, and this is just fantastic. I grew up in County Limerick and got involved in the traditional music scene in Ireland and in England. I came to America in 1973 and came to Philadelphia, got stuck into the music right away, and it was all men playing the music out in the pubs, and I didn't think there was anything unusual about that, because back in Ireland it was the same thing. You would never find women playing Irish traditional music in the pubs back then. In fact, you wouldn't find traditional activities of any kind that involved women in the pubs. Women didn't go to pubs. And if they did, it was a special occasion. I don't know if any of you here from Ireland that would remember the snug in the corner of the pub. You remember the snug. It was carefully cordoned off. It was sequestered. And there was a hatch that you had to open. You banged on the hatch. It was like going to confession. You banged on the hatch and it opened, and then drinks were served after a while, and then the hatch was closed to protect the women from the male occupants of the pub and their conversation. And that was the way it was, not the snug, but the women's attending the pub and certainly playing music when I arrived in Philadelphia. And I took a great interest in the old records made in this country. The standard of Irish music has always been just as high here as back in the home country. And wonderful records were made starting at the turn of the century with great Irish musicians over here playing the traditional music. And I noticed only a handful of the players were women. Then I met the secretary of the Irish Musicians Union in Philadelphia. In fact, it was the only Irish Musicians Union in the country, and still was the only Irish tradition up to this day. And it was just like any other union. It was a local branch of the Musicians Union. It was started in 1917, and it ended in 1971 when there was just a few old-timers left. And I happened to get the book from Tommy Caulfield. He was a Roscommon man, played the fiddle and ran a radio show. The book showing the membership and the dues paid of all the musicians over the years, 1917, hundreds and hundreds, up to 1971. Guess how many women were in that? 0. You'd be right if you said 0. And then suddenly it all changed. And I think it changed probably on the back of the women's movement and the rising tide of feminism all over the world, rightly putting women in positions that men had primarily occupied up to that time. And then suddenly in the mid-70s, all these Irish-American players came out of the woodwork, and there were girls and young women, and they weren't just playing, they were playing at the highest standard, and they were confounding Ireland, going back to Ireland and winning the All-Ireland competitions in those instruments, born here in America. And I'm talking about people like Liz Carroll in Chicago, and Joni Madden here from New York, and Eileen Ivers, names known to all of you. And then in the 70s, women came out with a vengeance, and 30 years ago, a series of concerts were organized here in New York City, just featuring women. There were sellout concerts organized by an organization at that time called the Balkan Arts Centre, now the Centre for Traditional Music and Dance. And women had arrived with a vengeance, and now are centre stage. And when you go into any session of Irish music anywhere in the world, from here to Sydney, Australia, you'll find about 50-50, which is the way it should be. But it didn't happen without an awful lot of effort. And the band that came out of all that celebration 30 years ago, it's one thing to have a celebration, it's another thing to keep it on the road for 30 years. And the woman who's kept it on the road for 30 years, she is irrepressible, a force of nature, a storm, a hurricane, a whirlwind. There'd be no stopping her. And she started what really amounted to a bloodless revolution in Irish traditional music. And this is a great night to celebrate that. Please make welcome Joni Madden and Cherish the Ladies.
1, 2. Hello, New York! Hello, New York! Can we have one massive round of applause for Mick Moloney? Without him, we wouldn't be here. The one and only Mick Moloney. Thank you so much, Mick. Well, we couldn't have picked a better night, and thank you all very much for coming out before we even start. We are so happy you're here with us tonight with all the things going around town. Thank you very much, even before we even play a note. Thank you. Well, anyway, we're going to start off with a little jig that I wrote here about 2 years ago when myself and Morella had been telling us we had to go to this little island called Inishbofin, and that it was filled with lovely Irish people who loved traditional Irish music, loved to dance, loved to sing. And when we heard it was a little island off the coast of Connemara, myself and Mary decided to make the travel, a little ferry ride over, especially when we heard there was 17 pubs and no policemen. We said we're going. But anyway, it was all that it was claimed to be once we got there. But the ferry ride was the worst experience of my life. The 4 miles, I thought we were going to America and that we would never see land again. And we were literally thrown back and forth, and this is the tune that we wrote at the other side of the island. But anyway, it's one I wrote there, and we called it The Boat to Boffin. So we hope you're all getting in our boat tonight, and you're hoping in a good mood tonight. So John, we can have music coming out of the monitor over there, and Carroll is about to make enough music. So kill that jukebox. This is not a Celtic woman show. We really play. Okay. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. 1, 2, 3, go! much. We want to introduce these dancers to us because they've been dancing with us for a long time. They used to be young and fit. And,
Weren't we all, Joni?
weren't we all? Get back over there. All right, folks, on your left, all the way from Parsippany, New Jersey. Let's hear it for Colleen Farrell Martin. All right, Colleen. From Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, let's hear it for Joe Dwyer. All right, Joe. Melanie Deegan from Long Island. Let's hear it for Melanie. Rockville Center, right? Rockville Center. Somewhere around there, I don't know. And listen, on your far right, all the way from, where are you from, Michael? Columbus, Ohio. Michael Holland. Let's hear it for Michael. From Baltimore, Maryland, the one and only Caitlin Goulding. All right, Caitlin. And last but not least, the man that really no one needs no introduction. This is Mr. Donny Golden. And Donny, I have to say one thing tonight as we celebrate 30 years. He's been giving us all his dance steps. All the dance steps we've been doing came from Donny Golden, the king of them all. Let's hear it for Donny Golden. Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. All right, Donny. All right. All right, the nerves are starting to calm down now. Is it all right? Does it sound okay out there? Okay, very good. Well, listen, we are so honored to have with us one of the finest singers in the history of Irish song. She comes all the way from a place called Ennis in County Clare. She really is a living legend, two-time Grammy nominee. Would you please welcome Miss Maura O'Connell to the stage? Here she is. Hello.
Well, what about this? You know, it's International Women's Day today.
Oh, yeah.
What about all of this? And we are women, and we are proud. Speaking of which, when he was talking earlier about the lack of female musicians in the sessions, as the singer, I realized that many years ago that singing really was just light relief between tunes. When the lads went off to have a pee, the singers got to sing. That's changed. Hello. That's changed now, and so we actually get in the mix. And I'm going to sing a couple of songs. The first is a song that everybody knows is probably one of the most recorded songs in the Irish canon. And the other side I forgot to mention is that singer brings to the party the cry, because you know it's not a real good Irish shindig unless there's a lot of crying. So that's what I'm bringing here for you now. Written by one of the great lyricists of all time, W.B. Yeats. This is the Sally Gardens.
John, KT has no monitor.
Check. There it is again. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. She bid me take life easy as the leaves grow on the trees. But I, being young and foolish, with her I did not agree. And in a field by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she placed her snow white hand. She bid me take love easy as the grass grows on the weir. But I was young and foolish, and now I am full of tears. Thank you. Well, this next song I recorded, a long time ago, 1987, in Nashville. But it's a song by a lady who's basically been adopted by Ireland, or she adopted Ireland. But it's by Nancy Griffith, and it's a song that's so well known. I think the fact is that it's probably close to 30 years since I recorded it, and it's still relevant. It still sounds like it should be, which is, I think, the measure of what a folk song is. And again, she's become, so beloved in Ireland that we can call it an Irish folk song, if you will. Anything fits as long as I can put it into some sort of reference, because that's what I need. But this is a song about hard times and overcoming them and pulling together, and God knows we need to pull together. And so this is for all of us and all of you. And for all of these guys, I mean, it's been a pleasure to know these girls. Joni kidnapped me a few years ago, but I'm all right now. But this is a song that would definitely be about, keeping a band on the road almost, and it's called Trouble in the Fields. But it's not trouble, it's just, I'll be quiet and sing the damn thing. Baby, I know that we've got trouble in the fields. When the bankers swarm like locusts, they are turning away our years. Our dreams roll by our silos, silver in the rain. They leave our pockets full of nothing, and our dreams in the golden grain. Have you seen the folks in line downtown at the station? They're all buying their tickets out, and they're talking the Great Depression. Now our parents had their hard times 50 years ago, when they stood out in these empty fields and dust as deep as snow. And all this trouble in our fields, if this rain can fall, these wounds can heal. They'll never take our native soil. And if we sell that new John Deere, then we'll work this farm with sweat and tears. You be the mule, I'll be the plow. Come harvest time, we'll work it out. There's still a lot of love here in these troubled fields. There's a book up on the shelf about the Dust Bowl days, and there's a little bit of you and a little bit of me in the photos in every page. Now our children live in the city and they rest upon our shoulders. They never want the rain to fall or the weather to get colder. And all this trouble in our fields, if this rain can't fall, these wounds can heal. They'll never take our native soil, no. And if we sell that new John Deere, then we'll work this farm with sweat and tears. You'll be the mule, I'll be the plow. Come harvest time, we'll work it out. There's still a lot of love here in these troubled fields. You'll be the mule, I'll be the plow. Come harvest time, we'll work it out. There's still a lot of love here in these troubled fields.
Woo! Maura O'Connell! John, a little more for me. Now, that's the one and only Maura O'Connell. Come on, let's hear it for Maura. Fantastic. It is such an honor to have her with us, and I'll tell you, kidnapping her was not easy. She put up a good fight, but by God, good thing I'm bigger. There was no problem. I just dragged her off. Well, listen, folks, we're going to slow it down just a little bit, and we also love to pay homage to one of the greatest composers in Irish music. Every night we do a concert, we always try and play one tune written by the great Turlough Carolan, and we're going to actually play two for you right now. And both these tunes come from the late 1600s. The first tune is one called Planxty George Brabazon, which is a pretty well-known one, but the second one is called Planxty Frank Palmer. And I actually had gone through Carolan's book, and I had circled it about 30 years ago, and I put great, learn. And it wasn't until Kathleen went through the book and found it. She says, what is this? It says good, learn. I said, well, let's learn it. So it took time to get it, but we finally got around to it. But anyway, I hope you like it. Two of his tunes from the 1600s. I remember well when he wrote them. They were beautiful. listen, folks, I just want to think we should introduce the rest of the gang here now. And as Mick said, we just really can't believe that it started 30 years ago. But on my left here is a woman who's been with me since the very beginning, and God help her, she's going straight through the gates at Pearly Heaven. She does not have to stop or answer any questions. This is Mary Coogan, folks. Mary comes all the way. But Mary comes all the way from Newburgh, New York. One person even knows where it is, for God's sakes. No, Mary, but her mom came from Castlereagh in County Roscommon, her dad, Jim, a great accordion player, and Mary also has her master's degree in education, but one of the greatest and finest people you'll ever meet in the world. Would you give her one more round of applause to Mary Coogan? And folks, we are so honored to have with us truly one of the greatest fiddle players in the history of fiddling. This is the one and only Liz Carroll, all the way from Chicago. Her mom is all the way from Limerick, and her dad comes from Offaly. And Liz was here on the first round of tours when we did the first set of concerts, and of course recorded on the first album. And she was invited to come on the first tour with us, and she had to turn us down because she was pregnant with her son Patrick, who happens to be here tonight. So now he's a 30-year-old, so we're very happy that Patrick's here and that Liz is here. But I can't say too much. Not only All-Ireland champion, a National Heritage Award winner from the President of the United States, but also last year she became, 2 years ago actually, she is an incredible composer and was chosen as the Gradam Ceol, which is the highest award you can receive in Ireland as a writer of Irish traditional music. And what an honor for that. Liz Carroll, folks. Let's hear it for Liz. Thank you. And the big squeeze of the band, the one and only woman from Connemara, all the way from Clifton, outside of Clifton, a place called Claddaduff. This is Morella Murray, All-Ireland champion, and the music comes from her dad, John Joe, was a fantastic set dancer. Let's hear it from Morella Murray. And my name is Joni Madden. I was born in the Bronx. Woodlawn section of the Bronx, and I raised up in Yorktown Heights, up in high school, went to high school up in okay, no, we don't, let's just talk about the Bronx, it looks like. But anyway, my mother is all the way from Milltown, Malbay, County Clare, and my dad, Joe Madden, from Portumna, County Galway. I'm great to meet you all. I'm Joni Madden. And last but not least, we're going to hand you over now and get her to do a little tune for you right now, all the way from Glasgow in Scotland. This is Kathleen Boyle on the piano, and again, KT, as we call her, is a fantastic musician. She can literally trace music down her family tree, or up her family tree, I should say, back 200 years. Her grandfather was a legend called Neely Boyle on the fiddle, and her father's a fantastic musician, and she's following suit. One of the finest you'll ever meet. Would you welcome, please, Kathleen Boyle on the piano.
Thank you very much, Joni. It's lovely to be here. I'm enjoying all this lovely snow. I've only been here 6 days and I'm sick to death of it. I'm sure you feel the same. But yes, it's great to be here. I'm going to play you a little Scottish tune. As you can guess, I come from Scotland. And my parents are actually from Donegal in Ireland. So I suppose that makes me half Scottish, half Irish. I finally figured what that means. I love to drink, but I don't like to pay for it. It's true.
It's very true, very true.
So I'm going to play you a little Strasbourg now, and this tune was composed by James Scott Skinner, the legendary Scottish composer. And we just found out today that this was the very first tune that he ever composed, and it's called The Miller of Herne. And then...
You know what, we're going to follow it up with a lovely reel we just learned recently from a man who was very influential in my life, the great Jack Cohn, the flute player from Woodford. And we learned this tune from him. It's called The Thrush in the Storm. And then we're going to follow it up with a tune that Liz wrote when she was down in Swannanoa, down in North Carolina. She was staying on a pig farm. And one of the little pigs, Mommy, sat on the little pig. and the thing was squealing, and she got the mother to move and save the pig. So she calls this tune Save the Ham. And the last tune is a lovely reel called The Liffey Banks. But anyway, we're going to feature KT here with a beautiful Scottish tune for you right now. A Scotch signature, a Scott, whatever his name is. Okay. Jason Oremus and Garrett Coleman. Stay there for a second, guys. Oh my God. I taught them that right after, you know. Okay. Well, in all sincerity, the two boys are phenomenal. Garrett Coleman on your far right, 2 times world champion all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we have Jason Oremus. Jason's all the way from Sydney, Australia, and Jason was the principal lead dancer for River Dance for 42 countries around the world. But I just want to say one thing. They have a dance show that they're putting together along with the movie concept and everything, and it's called Indigo Gray, and they have a Kickstarter thing that's running out in a couple of days. And they when is it? 7 days. It's 7 days to D-Day. But anyway, if you can help them out, is there some things out there on the table? We'll tell you if you can pick them up and help them support them make this project. Because these guys, look at the dancing they do. Let's hear for Jason and Garrett. Well, I'm very honored tonight that my mother is here. I'm sure you're all happy because I behave much more when my mother is here. She says, right, Mother? Yeah, right, okay. Well, anyway, I wrote this tune for my mother a couple of years ago, and it's on our latest album, which is called An Irish Homecoming, but it's a tune that I wrote for not just my mom, but for all the immigrants that made their journey over, who gave up everything and anything so that their children would have the gifts that we have by being brought up and raised in America. And my mother, she came out here and married my father, and they had 7 kids in 9 years, as you do. And my mother left home at a very tough time. Of course, back in the 50s in Ireland, it was a very, very tough time financially for so many, and so many, especially from the west of Ireland, made their way over to New York. But has anybody's parents come from Ireland here? A few of you, and grandparents, and even probably yourselves, but I never knew the story that my mother had left when her father had passed away suddenly, and her mother was in the hospital with TB, and they had an aunt over here in America, and she sent her back a plane ticket and said, when you arrive in New York, look for a woman with a blue flower in her lapel, and that's how you'll find me. And then, as I said, she married my dad. But my father used to go back home and visit his family, but my mother never could. And I said, Mom, why didn't you just go and leave us with Dad? And she says, Joan, it's like this. You'd all be dead. So my poor mother didn't go home for 18 years before she went home for the first time. And I just never knew that because she was always there. But anyway, she's here tonight, and I'd like to dedicate this to her and I get so good. All right, the crybaby. But anyway, I dedicate this to my mom and to all of our parents and grandparents and all the immigrants who've done so much, gave up everything they knew and loved so we could be here. Hope you enjoy it. And anyway, it's called Longing for Home. Come on, KT, tinkle them ivories. you. Longing for home. Thank you very much. Well, folks, we're going to get Mary Coogan to play one that she wrote now, and she's writing brilliant music as well. And I have to tell you this story because I just find it so amusing that she actually wrote this while she was being audited by the IRS. No, one year we did like some ludicrous amount of dates, and they didn't believe her. And we didn't believe ourselves either, did we, Mary? We said, no, we couldn't have possibly done that. But anyway, she was adding up the miles and waiting for the computer to work and was tickling away at the guitar and wrote this one, and it's called Road Dust. And then we're going to follow it up with a beautiful slip jig, and again, written by Liz. And I was telling Liz a story one night of when I put a car in the ditch in Ballinkill in the middle of the night in East Galway, and I was stuck. And next thing I see this light coming across the fields. I can't even see the hand in front of my face, but this man comes up to me with this lantern, and he says to me, "How in the name of Jesus did you put that car in the ditch?" And I said, "Listen, I don't know, it fell into the..." He said, "Are you Johnny Madden?" I said, "Not right now, I'm not." But anyway. So anyway, Liz wrote this tune, and she calls, "Are you Joni Madden?" All right, but anyway. And we're going to finish it up with a beautiful slip jig written by another great fiddle player from Dublin who moved to New York and made it his home. His name is Larry Redigan, and one of the finest ever. And he wrote this slip jig, and it's called Watch Your Step. But anyway, here's Mary Coogan, and watch your fingers at work on this one. Hope you enjoy it. Here it goes with Road Dust.
back. Well, you know, I didn't, unlike these, most of these American people, I actually didn't grow up with traditional music. My mother was into light opera. Well, you know. And, but I'm from Clare, and so by osmosis it comes. And I don't know if you heard this, but Ennis got the flag. How about a big round of applause? I was in a band called the Donna for a couple of years, a long, long time ago. And, but I heard this from the singing of the incredible Dolores Kane. And there's nobody I've ever heard. And when I first heard this song, I cried. And every time I heard it, I cried. And I told Dolores, I said, if I ever can stop crying while listening to the song, I'm going to actually sing it and record it. And she said, good for you. It took me a long time, but this is the song. And it's a song of immigration, but it's from the point of view of the person left behind. And yeah. And she figures he's off out, up to no good, and she's probably right. So this is Teddy O'Neill.
I dreamt all last night of access to my dreaming. I'd die if I thought 'twould come surely to pass. I dreamt while the tears down my pillow were rolling that Teddy was courting another fair lass. And didn't I wake with weeping and wailing, the pain in my heart 'twas too deep to conceal. My mother cried, Nora dear, what is your ailing? But all I could answer was Teddy O'Neill. I see the old cabin beyond the wee boreen. I see the old crossroads where we used to dance. I ramble the lane where he called me his story, and my girlish heart was so full of romance. But now all around is so dark and so dreary, all dark and all silent. No piper, no reed, not even the sun through the casement shines cheery. Since I lost my darling love, Teddy O'Neill. I remember the day when the big ship was sailing, and the time it had come for my love to depart. How I cried like a child, oh, goodbye to you, Teddy, with a tear on my cheek and a stone in my heart. He said 'twas to better his fate he went roaming. Ah, but what would be gold to the joy I would find if he'd only come back to me tender and loving, yet poor
Thank you. The crying must be catching, Johnny. I got me that one too. Well, I'm going to do one more song now, and this is a song that was written by my friend Jerry O'Byrne. Jerry's from Ennis, where I come from too. And he wrote this after Michael Russell, the great whistle player from Doolin, died as an elegy for him. But in the process, he turned it into a love song to County Clare, which again is where I'm from, and it's the most beautiful place in the whole country. Well, in the world, really, so I don't care where you're from. I'm speaking now, and I have the microphone, so that's what it's going to be for right now. And it's like a travelogue. It's a beautiful song about Clare. It really could be about any place in Ireland, because honest to God, it's all pretty damn fantastic. And those are from all the other counties right there clapping. But it is truly. And they have that new thing, the Great Atlantic, the Wild Atlantic Way. If you've ever gotten a chance or can do that, all y'all, if you get it, I live in the Nashville, you can tell. All y'all, if you're going to Ireland, try and see if you can do that trip. It's a remarkable trip from Donegal all the way down to Cork. I did it recently. It's phenomenal. Kerry, all the way down to Kerry. Sorry, Kerry. Jesus, you'd never be quit. Oh, Jesus, you wouldn't be getting one in the Kerry people, by God. And I tell you what, Jesus Christ, that was the wrong person to leave out, I'll tell you that. Anyway, I am actually going to sing this for Nellie, for Joan's mother, because she's from County Clare too, as am I. And this is The Shades of Gloria. I am going to the country, going down that verdant lane, with nothing but a whistle in my hand and a pocket full of rain. Can you hear that distant sound coming down the West Clare Railway and running with the shades of glory? The wind is full of memories that murmur and sigh. Hills lie in the foaming grass of Clare below the cold moon's eye. You should come and see them now when they are on fire and running the shades of glory. And the waves roll at the headland when the tide is rising there. And here there is starlight falling down on the hills of Clare. I knew them when I was hungry, and I knew them when I was scared to go running the shades of glory. And I am going to the country where Michael in his prime weaves the thread of melody in his own sweet time. And you can hear him sing and whistle anytime you care to go running with the shades of glory.
down that verdant lane with nothing but a whistle in my hand and a pocket full of rain. Can you hear that distant sound coming down the Westland Railway and running the shades of glory?
Thanks a million, folks. Listen, we're going to do one more set of tunes and give you a little pause for the cause. And there is plenty of CDs down there if you like taking us home. Maura's got them, Liz has got some, KT, Mary, we've all got some. I'm sure there's a whole slew down there. We also have our latest DVD, as we call it. We're very happy with this one. It actually just won an Emmy and is called An Irish Homecoming. We did it with a 12-piece string section, and Maura's on there, and we're all playing away, and we're so honored. It is played in every city in America except for Chicago, Boston, and New York, where there are no Irish people. I don't get it. We'll watch Celtic Women again. All right. This is a Celtic woman right here, let me tell you. Well, listen. Okay, and listen, I also want to let you know, folks, I'm running my 4th annual cruise, my 4th annual Joni Madden Folk and Irish Cruise. And it's going out of 47th Street over here on the West Side Highway on May the 16th to May the 23rd. And not only is it going to be a party, I'm actually turning 50 on it. I can't lie, what the heck, you all know what I am anyway. I know she's all going, look at this one going, look at how old, I know, but anyway. But we have everybody from Maura's coming to, of course, Liz Carroll, Billy McComiskey will be there. All the girls are coming and Cherish the Ladies. And I have Don Stiff and Tommy Sands, and it goes on and on and on. Donny Golden is over. There's waltz and jive and singing, and we have over 550 people coming so far. So it's going to be quite the party, and it's starting at $9.99. And for that, you can sleep with any of the girls. Any one of them. Listen, I'm $19.99. I'm a little more. There's more of me, you see. You got to pay more for me. There's a bidding war. I've heard there's a bidding war erupted over me right now. I'm not sure. It might be up to $29.99. I don't know. No. I'm joking, by the way. But listen, yes. Not really, but I mean, no. Well, listen, we're going to do one more for you now. And again, we're going to kick off with another tune that we learned from Liz that she wrote for our great friend Pauline Keneally, who had 4 boys in 4 years, God help her. And she called this The Ronin Boys. And we're going to follow it up with a great tune that Morella's going to play for us. Morella, what are you playing? It's a tune in A. Thank you very much, Morella. And we're going to follow with the reel that I wrote. I had a great memory of being back in Belmullet in County Mayo with my great friend Eileen Ivers Eileen. We went to grammar school together in St. Barnabas, and we were together. But anyway, wound up. She took me out to visit her grandmother in Belmullet in County Mayo. And you know, when this was back in the early 90s, when of course Ireland is so modern now, it's more modern than we are here. But back then, at the time, we were staying in her grandmother's house, and she didn't have central heating. So you hung out in the sitting room, and it was beautiful and warm. The fire was going, and you were drinking the tea. And then you went into the bed that hadn't been slept in since 1937. And well, my own grandmother, you see, now she'd put 2 hot water bottles in the bed and warm them up for me. You know, that's what she used to do. But anyway, I went to Eileen's grandmother, and I went into my bedroom, and I tried to go to sleep, and I was frozen. So I got up, and I put my pants on over my sweats that I was sleeping. Then I put my jacket on over my shirt, and I was still frozen. My nose was going to break off. So I went out to the grandmother, and I said, Granny Ruddy, I said, would you happen to have a hot water bottle lying around? And she says, oh, loving, are you sick? Are you sick, loving? I said, oh, no, I'm just a little cold, Granny. And she says, where'd you go away to that, the size of you? There's enough to keep 2 people warm. So anyway, I call this reel the hot water bottle, and we're going to wrap it up with another reel that I wrote recently, and since Liz wrote a tune for me called You Joni Madden, I wrote this one and I called it No, I'm Liz Carroll. So anyway, we are having a great time with you guys. You doing all right down there? So we'll see you in a few minutes with this one, and we hope you enjoy it. I'd like to dedicate, I've got a couple of brothers here, my brother Pat and my brother, my brother John, and all my nephews and nieces are down there, and Mary's brothers out there, and Bambi, and the cousins, and all their family, and anybody else? Okay, that's enough. All right. Thank you very much. Here we go with the Ronan Boys, one of Liz's tunes. 1, 2, 3, go! Well, hello. Well, as they say, hello? Can you hear me? Well, as they say, let's get this party started. And we are so, we're going to bring out some of the reinforcements of some of the amazing musicians that have toured with us down through the years. And we're going to start off by introducing, right next to Liz is Marie Reilly. Marie Reilly McEnany is her name now. All the way from Whitestone in Queens. Come on, let's hear from Marie. Woo! And her dad, a great whistle player from Longford. Her mom is here. Let's say hello to Mrs. Reilly. How you doing, Mrs. Reilly? And her husband, Seamus, is here as well. Great flute player. And also on the fiddle there, raise your hand there. This is Siobhan Egan. Siobhan toured with us for 13 years. All over the world. And she's here with her husband, the husband John, and also her two girls are here, Maeve and Orla, who came tonight as well. So, and on the piano, we have Donna Long, who toured with us almost 11 years as well on the piano. Legendary pianist Donna Long, all the way from California via Baltimore. Living in Baltimore, Maryland, one of the finest ever, really incredible musician, as well as her son Jesse Smith is now one of the foremost, one of the great fiddle players of the day. Now makes his home in Ireland. And last but not least, we have on Bowron, we have sitting in with us here, Deirdre Connolly, all the way from Maspeth in Queens. So anyway, we're going to do a couple of old sets from days gone by, and I'm so excited that the girls have been practicing for months. But anyway, this is a set of tunes, a lovely slip jig called The Highway to Kilkenny to start her off. You right, girls? Yep. Ready. 1, 2, 3, go. introduce a woman who sang with us for about 5 or 6 years, and she comes all the way from the little village of Carrick-on-Shore, County Tipperary, and her dad and her uncles were so influential in our music and took us under their wings when we were starting out. And her name is Eva Clancy, and her parents were from the Clancy brothers. How about a big round of applause for Eva Clancy? Here she comes.
It's good to be back. Is it? I can't hear myself. Can you hear me? Can you see me? How could you not, says you? John, is there any chance of getting a little bit of me in the monitor? No? Okay, grand. Just thought I'd ask. So anyway, we're going to do the song Matt Highland, and this is a song from the north of Ireland, and it's about a woman who's in love with a commoner, and his father says, that's better, thanks Deirdre. His father says, no, you cannot marry him, he's a commoner, and she goes, but I want to marry him, and just listen to the words and you'll figure out it has actually a happy ending for once. Nobody dies. Nobody dies, this one. There was a lord lived in this town who had a fair and lovely daughter. She was courted by a handsome man who was a servant to her father. But when her parents came to know, they swore they'd ban him from the island. This age she knew that her heart would break had she to part with young Matt straightway to her love she went, and then into his room to wake him. Sing arise, my love, and go away. This very night you will be taken. I overheard my parents say, in spite of me they would restore to. Rise, my love, and go away. You know right well I do adore you. They both sat down, all upon the bed, all for the sight of one another, and not one word did either speak, till down her cheeks the tears did shower. She laid her head upon his breast, around his neck her arms entwined them. No duke nor earl, nor her lord I'll wait for you, my young lad. How can I go away, my love? How can I go without my wages, without one penny of my own? Just like some low and lonesome vagrant. His 20 guineas in bright gold, that's far much more than father owes you. Take his love and go away. You know right well I do adore you. They both sat down all upon the bed, all for the sight of one another, and not one word did either speak, till down her cheeks the tears did shower. She laid her head upon his breast, around his neck her arms entwined. No duke nor earl, nor lord I'll wed. I'll wait for you, my young lad.
All right, Eva Clancy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Eva Clancy and Deirdre there, lovely Deirdre. Well, listen, folks, we're going to bring out Michael Holland for you again. And Michael, just last year, he won the World Championship, the Senior Men's World Champion. We were so... Isn't that good? Come on, give it to him. I put a lot of work into Michael. I work with him day and night to bring him to... Okay, yeah. But Michael, really, we're going to get Michael to do his set dance for you right now. And it's a lovely set dance that's called The Hunt. It used to be the hunt. It used to be the hunt for the gold medal, but now it's the hunt for the raise. And I told him, good luck with that, because you haven't a hope in hell. But anyway, here's Michael's set dance. The only time in Irish music when actually there's a dance that is dedicated and written completely for the tune. Isn't that right, Michael? Michael, is this your first time dancing in Symphony Space? Well, congratulations, but make sure this is good or it'll be your last time. New Yorkers are very cruel. All right. How does it go again? Oh, yeah. Smile. There, you know what? Well, listen, we're going to feature Reilly right now and a little lovely hornpipes that we love to hear her playing. And not only is she a fantastic musician, but she's also a lawyer. So if anybody wants any legal advice after the show, she's charging $10 for every 5 minutes. Is that right, Marie? Oh, hold on, we have to turn on Marie's mic. No. Keep talking, Marie, because obviously...
No, everyone's fed up listening to me, so I won't say anything.
Well, it was a good thing you weren't that good on the first couple of numbers, Marie. Anyway, we were letting you warm up now, getting ready for this whole big number. Anyway, folks, come on, have a big round of applause for Marie Reilly. All right, great blast of reels that we played on an album we recorded about 20 years ago. Well, anyway, I have to feature Donna Long. Donna is a beautiful, beautiful piano player, and I just love the way she plays slow airs. And we asked her, would she do one for us tonight? And we actually, this was special by request, right, Donna?
Yes.
It wasn't a demand, it was a request.
It was a request.
Thank you very much, Donna. Have a nice round of applause for Donna Long. All right, Donna.
Thank you. I'm just going to play one of my favorite slow airs. It's called one of their. It's called "The Lark in the Clear Air," and this tune came into my head when I was on an island in Scotland called Iona, and at that time there were there's very few people that live on the island, but lots of birds. And there were larks, and it was really the first time I think I had ever noticed or heard larks singing. So immediately, of course, this tune came into my head. So here it goes.
just see it. Thank you, Donna. Well, I think we've had enough of it now with the woman power all night long, and we need a bit of men power out here right now. And you know, a big part of our lives, and especially being here tonight, is reminiscent of the one we had here when we launched The Girls Won't Leave the Boys Alone about, I don't know, 15 years ago. I don't know if anyone was here that night. But we had all our fathers who were here that night that we all picked up the music from. And we're so honored to have Deirdre Connolly's dad, Maddie, who was here that night. Maddie Connolly, who married half of New York, played weddings and dances, and is an incredible singer and piper. We're going to ask Maddie to come out and sing a song off that album, The Girls Won't Leave the Boys Alone. And we were going to ask for, once again, for the man himself, who, without him, we would never be here, Mick Moloney, to come out and join Maddie. Would you give a nice round of applause to Maddie Connolly and Mick Moloney? Maddie's all the way from Scotchtown, County Monaghan, right, Maddie? Long distance. Grab the mic there, Maddie.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Whenever you're ready, Jody.
That's all you want. Tell them what you're going to sing, Maddie. Grab that mic. We can't hear you. Pull it up closer to you.
I'm going to sing a song that I learned from my mother some good number of years ago. It's a Galway song. It's called The Queen of Connemara. Can safely float in the teeth of wind and weather, and I'd race the fastest hooker between Galway and Kinsale, where the white foam of the ocean and the dark clouds roll together. There she rides it in her pride like a seagull o'er the waves. Oh, she's neat, oh, she's sweet, she's a beauty every line. The Queen of Connemara, she's the bounding heart of mine. When she's loaded down with fish till the water lips the gunwale, not a drop she'll take on board her that would drive a fly away. Like a ship she'll glad and gladly, like a greyhound from his kennel, and she land her silver shoulder first on out in Barra's Heath. Oh, she's neat, oh, she's sweet, a beauty every line. The Queen of Connemara, she's a pounding heart of mine. Oh, she's neat, oh, she's sweet, she's a beauty every line. The Queen of Connemara, she's a bounding bark of mine. There's a light shines out of form, and it keeps me from dismaying. When the sky is ink above us and the sea Thank you.
Well, now, that's beautiful singing. That's great. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you very much. And again, I just can't tell you how thankful we are that Mick Moloney is here tonight. And I also want to say, we also have our first tour manager, a man by the name of Rick Loughlass, came with us when we were a bunch of pups and came on the road. And that poor man used to have to wake us up. What we put that man through, and he came tonight along, he was working for the Ethnic Folk Arts Centre, who were the ones that Mick got to help him organize all the concerts. So if you wouldn't mind giving Rick a big round of applause, because we thank him so much for all he did back then, 30 years ago. And I just have to say about Mick Moloney, without a doubt, he's probably one of the most influential people ever. What he has done for Irish music in America is unparalleled anywhere. He's now the professor of ethnomusicology at NYU. But anyway, he's going to be here actually next Friday night, Mick, is it? Next Saturday night, are you here?
This isn't on. This
Next Saturday night, he's going to be here with his Celtic Appalachian show, and it's phenomenal. And if you want to come back next Saturday night for more, better than this, come back next Saturday night. But let's hear from Mick Moloney here. Give him a nice round of applause. Thank you, Mick.
Well, this is a song that's really very appropriate for this occasion here. It came into being just after the Irish famine, and everything changed after the Irish famine, of course. And the thing that changed the most was the way that land was passed on. Now only one son got the land, and got the land when the parents really decided to hand over. And then a woman would come in from a same economic station, had to be approved of, with the dowry. And I just came from Southeast Asia, where the dowry system is still totally alive there, but it's the man that gives the money to the woman. In Ireland's case, the woman gave the money to the man's family. And if you didn't have a dowry, there was no place for you to go but to emigrate. And that's why more women than men emigrated from Ireland, making us unique among all European groups coming here in the years after the famine, when this song was created. And the women that came here, they had a hard time of it, because they had no formal skills, and most of them ended up working in the sweatshops, the sweat mills, places like the textile mills of Lowell, Massachusetts. And the rest ended up mostly as domestics. And they stayed there for a while to save money, and they sent the money back home to Ireland. Dennis Clarke, the great historian, called it the greatest transatlantic philanthropy of the 19th century was money sent back by Irish domestics, helping the family improve their circumstances, bringing the sisters and brothers out to America. So this song comes from that era, and it's about a strong woman who, when her father disapproves of her true love and he runs off to North America in disgust, she takes matters into her own hands and she steals money from the old fella. And off she goes. And she goes the cheapest crossing, which is always to Canada, turned around cargo ships. There's only one minor problem. She has no idea where he is in the whole North American continent. So she goes into a bar in Quebec to think matters over, and there he is having a drink at the bar. And Robbie O'Connell says this is the Disneyland version of Irish immigration, and it probably is. But we like it because it's got a happy ending. You lovers all, both great and small, that dwell in Ireland, and I hope you'll pay attention when I my pen command. It was my cruel father that drove my love away, but I'm still in hopes we will meet again in North America. My love is neat and handsome, to him I gave my heart, and a little was our notion that ever we would part. It was in my father's garden, this flower it did decay, but I'm still in hopes it will bloom again in North America. Well, I did not want for money, good fortune I did find, and from my father's castle I stole 500 pounds. It was in the town of Belfast, my passage I did pay, my mind made up to follow my love to North America. Donny, as you might understand. And she took me in her cabin until we reached the land. It was in the town of Quebec. We landed on the quay. I knew not where to find my love in all America. But I'd been sick and tired and sore. I went into an inn, and 'twas there I spied my William, the lad I loved within. And I gently took him by the hand, and to him I did say, I never thought I'd see your face in North America. Understand, and I hear they live quite happily in the town that they call St. John. And the money that she took from home in gold, she paid it down, and she thinks no more on Ireland or in this new
Mick Moloney and Maddie Connolly. All right, guys. Let's hear for the boys. Deirdre Connolly sing one of here we got Deirdre Connolly all the way from Mespeth.
Thank you. It's my family. I paid them. We're going to do an old a song, actually. It's the first track off of the album, The Girls Won't Leave the Boys Alone, called The Broom and the Cowdenals. It's a song that dates back to the 1600s. It's a Scottish song, actually. Just want to give Joni a round of applause for keeping this going for 30 years. And she keeps dragging us back in. She says it's like the mob, you're never out. And she's right, it's true.
Oh, that's too bad. That's it. In all sincerity, they're throwing us out of here. We're out of time, and in all sincerity. But we're going to finish up with another tune. It's actually the first tune that I ever wrote, and it's called The Cat's Meow. But before we do that, I just want to say a big thank you to the World Music Institute for inviting us to come along tonight and celebrate our 30th anniversary with them. And I just want to say a big thank you also to our sound engineer, John Murray. He didn't have an easy job tonight with all this going on up here. Thank you, John Murray, and all Gene, and the lighting guys. Thank you, Todd, and all of everybody else. Thanks, Rob, everybody for all your help. And also to our great friends, Derek Woods and Marianne Mangan, and also Phil down there, and also Mary and Joe down there selling CDs. Poor people, once you know us, there's no getting away from us, as Deirdre mentioned. And I also want to send a special hello to the Consul General of Ireland who's here tonight, Barbara Jones, the first woman Consul General ever in the history to New York City. So thank you for coming in, Barbara. We know how busy you are. And again, I just still cannot believe it's 30 years since we started with down the road, and where we've traveled all over the world, and where it's gone, and where the Irish music has taken us. So thank you to all of you for supporting us to let us do this and make this happen, and to all these fantastic women who have joined the stage with us down through the years. There were so many great girls that wanted to be here tonight, but travel wouldn't let them, or children wouldn't let them, or like Eileen Ivers was on tour, and Winnie Horan's with Solus, and Kathy Ryan's with some symphony somewhere. So there's a lot of people that couldn't make us, but by God, the ones we have, I'm so happy they came out tonight. Thank you very much. Thanks, Liz, and Marie Reilly, and again, Siobhan Egan, great to see Siobhan, Donna Long, again, Mary Coogan, KT, Deirdre, thanks so much. So again, we're going to finish up with one more, and I really appreciate all of you coming out tonight. And again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate it very, very much. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Maura, John, turn me on. Maura, John, turn me on the monitors. Maura, come on, come on. We're running out of time. Sit back down. We'll do one more. What the heck?
There's always more.
I'm afraid if we go over there, they won't let us do an encore. So I don't want to go over there. I'm hiding out.
Okay, this is I'm not even going to introduce it.
Yeah, introduce it.
Okay, this is by Jimmy McCarthy. It's about a road between Kenmare and Cork. Oh, we've got some Cork and Kerry people here. And he wrote this after a great festival that used to be down in Kenmare. And he'd had a great time and on the road home, which even though it's in Kerry, is really beautiful. I'm joking, but it's still. And he wrote about, and it's a song of goodbye, and it's a song of thank you, and this is what we have for you right now. And it's got a very easy chorus that you'll learn over the course of the few minutes, and we want you to join in. And we'll sing it so that we won't run out of time. Oh, Joni's in charge, okay. She's pushing your luck. Okay. Won't you remember me?
Who the hell could forget you, Maura? That's for sure.
It's like purple splashed on green, and my soul is strangely fed through the winding hills ahead. And she plays a melody on wind and stream for me. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? And we wind and climb and fall like the greatest waltz of all. Float across the floor, her sweet breath outside the door. And it's time that I was gone across the silver tear. Won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? Oh, won't you remember? Won't you remember? Won't you remember me? As I leave behind Nadine and the halls where we have been, rhododendrons in her hair, in the mountain-scented air, I still hear her spirit song across the